as humans, even from the earliest moments of our lives, function better being recognised and affirmed by those around us. As children, we're taught to seek out validation that we've done well through a treat or a hug or maybe some kind words. As we go through to adult life, this belief system continues and builds our need to be affirmed, validated, and have our needs or feelings recognised by those around us. Yet when you Google need for recognition, it's portrayed as a trait that should be overcome. How can we overcome something that forms the very core of who we are as humans? During an interview for HR magazine, Elizabeth Falani said, "A powerful, authentic leader does not need recognition to feel good. They know their skills, approaches, and leadership are making a difference. They get on with the job, leaving self-consciousness behind, negating the need for others to confirm how great they are." I don't believe this to be true. In fact, one could argue that this thought pattern could be viewed as egotistical. Humility and authenticity are represented in showing that there's always room to learn, to grow, and that we must strive for more. Believing we're already the best presents a situation where we fail to grow and learn. Whether we'd like to admit it or not, most of us are seeking out validation from others, looking for acceptance and reassurance. Let's have a think about some of the ways which we currently look for validation. We strive to receive awards or trophies. We celebrate success in order to recognise hard work. We seek out validation for how we're feeling. We yearn for acceptance of who we are. How many times do you hear someone share that they're stressed or tired? We may not always be able to assist them, but they're sharing just because they need to feel heard. I try and support my team by having the strength, and it is a strength, to be vulnerable. Actually, a little while ago, I voiced to some friends that I was feeling really tired, that this is really tough, it's hard work, and I'm really feeling it. Their immediate response was for their own validation that they too were tired, rather than recognizing what I'd just voiced. And that's okay. But have you ever witnessed that? It's the conversation where a group of people desperately try and prove who's more tired. People need to be recognized and heard. And when their voice goes unheard for long enough, well-being suffers. Use those cues from people who are tired, stressed, or even happy to allow them to express their vulnerability or success. Corporate HR is now really focused on policies that promote staff well-being. Recognition is a powerful staff retention tool, and one that's really cost-effective. A small amount of validation provides recognition that, yes, you are tired, yes, you're stressed, but hey, you're doing a really great job. How can I help? Let's focus on you right now. So how can we ensure we all work through this crisis feeling supported? How can we take this innate need in us and use it to support those around us through crisis and build a stronger, more resilient community as we come out the other end? We simply need to listen and validate those around us. It's a selfless act to prioritize others over ourselves, but in giving, you will receive. My team have faced a number of crises this year, and in order to support them through this, I've chosen a leadership model which validation and recognition are a priority. As a leader or a friend, a support person, we all have the ability to feel those around us through difficult situations and build a resilient community. As we come out the other end, by recognizing that each of us is facing our own challenges, we might be able to offer recognition through validating just how hard this is for the person that's lost their job. Thanking your workmates or peers for the extra work they're doing. Maybe offering support or assistance to those facing hardship. Validating someone struggling with anxiety. Buying someone a coffee for their hard work. Telling your family and friends you love them at least twice as much as you did 6 months ago. And of course, just saying thank you. Our first response, because we all need validation, is to seek it. We don't always hear the vulnerable person because we're too busy looking for our own validation. Yes, I know you're tired, but I'm more tired. Rather than acknowledging that they've voiced their vulnerability, it's not always helpful to compare ourselves to others. Everybody's feelings are valid and individual. And when they voice them, keep it about them. Recognize and affirm instead of compete. Have you ever worked really hard on a project or a task only to feel it wasn't appreciated? Was it a moment that might have given thought to changing your employer? What was missing that led you to feel that? Recognition. Validation that you were meaningful, valued, and humanized. For those that know that lack of recognition, I want you to now think about how you reacted. Did it drive you to try hard again and remain positive? Or did it in fact make you feel annoyed and deflated? In a lot of situations, even declaring that next time you wouldn't bother. What if someone had have recognized the sacrifices you made to complete it? Or said, wow, well done. Would it have raised your job satisfaction? You would have felt empowered, proud, energized, and next time that person asks you to go above and beyond, you'd be more likely to oblige. We all just need recognition or validation of our individual circumstances. So let's give it. Instead of declaring just how tired or stressed we feel as a response to someone else's vulnerability, what might happen if we said, my gosh, you are really stressed. You're doing a great job. Is there anything I can do to help? Now, if we're all tired, does giving this energy to others just add more to our own plate? It actually takes very little energy to simply recognize the challenge someone's facing. They feel heard and cared for and will appreciate it. If not, sometimes the validation alone is all the help they need. You see, if we don't feel heard, what do? We continue to need validation. We continue to talk about the issue because the longer we don't receive the validation, the more we crave it. And often the worse the problem becomes. If we simply recognize that each person that we interact with needs positive affirmation that they are doing okay, that, yep, they're tired, but we can work through it. It lessens the burden and lessens that need to feel heard. We feel heard, we feel understood, it gives strength, and it often allows people the energy to push through that little bit longer. Think of it as paying it forward. Instead of seeking validation, give it without expecting anything in return. In seeing someone else's energy raise, yours will follow. You will notice the conversation change. As soon as others feel recognized, they suddenly have the time and energy to provide you with the same back. Recognition fuels us, whether we like to admit it or not. I actually, not long ago, thanked one of my team and I said, hey, thank you. You're doing a really amazing job. His reply was, no, thank you. You are. Okay, then there's that awkwardness of you both standing there complimenting each other. But that is so much better than walking away wondering if your hard work's being noticed. As soon as I recognized him, and he deserved it, he was able to return the validation. We both walked away feeling proud and empowered and ready to tackle the challenges that we might face that day. So right now, as we walk the path returning to normal without even knowing what the new normal is, we can at the very least empower those around us by providing this validation, recognizing achievements, stress levels, or obstacles. The more that we thank and validate and recognize people, the more they strive to achieve. In leading or guiding others, we have an opportunity to engage positively and generate an authentic response which delivers more positive outcomes. So if we bring this back now to how we can thrive through COVID and crisis, what are the messages that we're hearing from people? they're anxious, they're tired, they're stressed, they're lonely. The list goes on. What is our response to them? Or what might it be now? I would like to challenge you. Next time someone that you know expresses a feeling, an emotion, a completed task, to think about how you can recognize them, validate them, and just see what happens. We are so much stronger together with affirmation. We increase our positive societal footprint, and that can assist so greatly through difficult times. If each one of us can validate just one person, we can build the collective strength around us and push through this situation together. Thank you.